What is meant by the term two blocking? The load block contacts the boom point sheaves. Loading 2,000 pounds with a two-leg brittle sling at 30 degrees horizontal sling angle. What is the force applied to each leg? 20,000 pounds. In multiple crane lifts using an equalizer beam, the weight of the beam should be considered part of the load weight. What is required if there is a deviation from the lift plan? A new lift plan. Oh my god. On level ground, using skids and rollers, what percent of the weight of the load should yield the required line pull as a general rule of thumb? 5%. At what percentage of increase in length should a chain sling be removed from service? 5%. The methodological process that attempts to identify hazards and devise plans to overcome or eliminate hazards may interfere with crane or rigging is called lift plan. What provides additional control of a load being lifted? Taglines. When traveling on a rubber tire mobile crane, what should the boom be positioned? In line with the direction of travel. Before performing pick and carry operations with any mobile crane, it is important to refer to manufacturer's capacity chart. According to ASME B30.5, a two crane lift assigned to one designated person. What is the primary concern when working with high boom angles? Backward stability. On multiple crane lifts, the load on each crane should not exceed what percentage of capacity? 75%. What are lifting? Oh, okay. What are lifting lungs? Eyelids welded to a steel plate for lifting. The formula for determining stress on a snatch block performing a vertical lift is line pull and block factor equals block load. What must be done to calculate the formula? Multiply the load weight by the coefficient of friction to determine line pull and then use standard formula. If both fists are placed in front of your body with your thumbs pointed outward, the crane operator should extend the boom sections. What is the maximum percent of the rated capacity of a crane that can be used to lift? 50%. What is lightning present the greatest hazard to the crane and rigging personnel? When thunder and lightning are apparent. What force will be required to move an object up an inclined plane compared to lifting it vertically? 1/2 times more. Personal platforms shall not be used to lift tools and materials without employees. All of the following are reasons for stopping personnel lifting operations except there are no taglines. When working in close quarters, the main concern is safety. The point of any object's weight can be assumed to be concentrated at center of gravity. In a spur gear chain hoist with a two-chain system, the endless chain is used to raise and lower the load. In an emergency situation, what is the rigger's first priority? To prevent injury or loss of life. All of the following conditions except dynamic loading on the crane except static boom angle. Proper lead sheave placement as it relates to hoisting drum location is proper spooling of wire rope. The most important information to consider when planning a lift is weight of the load. Prior to use, all new, altered, modified, or repaired rigging hardware should be inspected by whom? A designated person. An unsafe condition that riggers should be aware of when dealing with multiple part load block is twisting multi-part lines. Most cranes in duty cycle operation require a load test. The only personnel allowed to have their body parts outside of the suspended personnel platform doing hosting or lowering operations are signaled persons. Ooh, damn. What is the most important reason rigging hardware should not be modified? It could negatively affect its capacity. In the term D/D ratio, the D is an abbreviation for diameter. A documentation that outlines weights, crane configuration, and rigging requirements for a lift is called a lift plan. When using a 1-inch wire rope sling in a vertical basket, hitch lifting a 24-foot long, 36-inch diameter pipe, 36 to 1. What is an LMI? A load moment indicator. Location of electrical hazards on the job should be doc- documented on X lift plan. When performing a lift plan, a primary concern for the person doing the rigging is capacity of rigging. When using a wedge socket, the dead end of a rope is secured in the socket by a wedge. When erecting or stowing a swing away lattice extension, what should be used to control the moment of extension? A tagline. Planning for rigging is required only when lifting any load. A lift plan must be completed by a supervisor. Anchorage points for fall arrest or single person must be able to hold 5,000 pounds. Which of the following items are used for heavy rigging? Sling, shackles, and spreader beams. If the jacket of synthesis round sling is damaged, the sling should be removed from service immediately. Which of the following is not a factor when making submerged lifts? Water temperature. When a tugger is mounted where the operator or cannot see the load, the signal person must use signals used for cranes. Who can de- who can dis- de- who can decision a personal platform? A qualified personnel. A 1-inch 3-leg brittle wire rope sling rigged at a 45-degree angle is good for 18 tons. The addition of a fourth leg will increase your capacity by 0 pounds. After any structural repair or modification of personnel lifting platforms shall be tested to what percentage of the platform rating? 150%. All of the following statements about crane contact with power lines are true except the operator should leave the cab as quickly as possible. Load introducing into the machine or its components due to accelerating or decelerating force is called dynamic loading. Using the sling chart provided, what is the capacity of a half-inch sling in a basket hatch with sling's legs 90 degrees? 6,200 pounds. When lifting 100,000 pounds, the main block must be reeved with how many parts of a line? 4. What standard hand sling is being communicated in the illustration? Travel, 1 track. What standard hand signal is being communicated in the illusion? Use wipe line. Using the chart, how many parts of line are needed to lift the load weight? 265,000 pounds. 9. According to the table, what is the minimum durance a crane in operation can be from a 250 kV energized power line? 200 feet. Calculating the block load for block C in the drawing. 12,000 pounds. Calculate the block load for block B in the drawing. 24,000 pounds. A load will be removed using a Manitowoc 4 4100W in a Grove TM1500. Determine which configuration of each crane will be best suited for performance. The multiple crane lifted as described using figure man 4100 underscore Grove 1500 load charts. Calculate the load on both crane number 1 and number 2. Then choose the appropriate answer below. Load radius at pick 35 feet. Load radius at placement 45 feet. Load weight is 118,000. Dimensions 1,800 pounds. Dimensions A equals 20 feet and B equals 40 feet. Each beam clamp has a weight of 500 pounds. The answer is crane number 1, Manitowoc 4100W-S2 with 200 feet of the main boom and a 100-ton block installed. Crane number 2, Grove TM 1500 with 118 feet main boom with a 30-ton block installed. All of the following are results of unbalanced reading of the hook block except where the hook. Before a spreader bar or beams can be used, they must have been tested and approved. When materials are being hoisted up to an upper level, a tagline is used to help control the load. Two cranes are lifting 100 tons. If crane has a 40% load, how much weight will crane B have on its hook? 6,000 pounds. To confirm the rated capacity of a specific sling, consult the manufacturer's sling tag. OSHA regulations require hook replacements if the opening exceeds what percentage of its original throat opening? B, 15%.